Hey, friends, it's your friendly neighborhood psychic, Miss Tasha, in the building, aka Tosh Divine, and this is my very first YouTube video. So, I have been writing and I've been blogging for the past 6 years. I just released my first epic novel on Amazon, and basically this year I wanted to switch it up because 6 years of writing got me like I don't even want to type no more. I don't want to pick up a pen no more, nothing. So I was like, I'm just going to try something different. So we're going to see how this YouTubing thing goes. So like I said, I'm a psychic, I'm an author. I do rideshare part time. And basically, I just live a very action filled life. And this is not by my choice. Like, I would really rather live a peaceful life, but there's always something going on. I'm always into it with somebody, or someone is into it with me. Um, I attract crazy people in crazy situations. So I was like, you know what? This isn't going to settle down anytime soon. Like I thought my life would stop being, so crazy and hectic, but it hasn't. So I'm under the impression that this is just what it's gonna be forever. And that's cool with me. You feel me? Like I know how to accept stuff. Prayed the serenity prayer many times. So anyways, if anybody has read my blog, and I'll drop the link in the comments, you know that I had a very difficult childhood. I didn't go through any like super like traumatic things like, like sexual assault or, like childhood homelessness and stuff like that. But I went through displacement, and I was actually raised in a very, very toxic and narcissistic family. And those aren't my personality traits. Like I'm a very, very open book. Like I don't really have an evil bone in my body except when people do evil to me. But the people who I was born from and into, mm, got some very, very, very deep rooted issues. And so basically, me being raised around these people, that it basically influenced me to have toxic relations with others, because the first relationships with my family were toxic. So I would entertain toxic friendships, toxic lovers, toxic workplaces, just because I thought it was normal, because that's how I was raised. But after a while, my mental and emotional and spiritual health started like declining rapidly. And of course, if you read my blog, also you'll know that right after childhood, I got into a very, very toxic 10-year relationship with who I thought was my high school sweetheart. So basically, I've lived a very hard life emotionally and spiritually, and being raised to be seen and not heard led to me being picked out to be picked on, because of course we live in a fallen world full of bullies. And of course, if you're in the black community, you're going to be subject to bullying, especially if you don't fight, because black people like to basically, not even black people from rough backgrounds like to target people who are peaceful and people who they feel aren't threats. So there's just been like a lot of being picked out to be picked on, like in friendships and family situations and workplace situations. And I just got tired of it. I got tired. So I moved to Las Vegas, and it changed my life because I got to live on my own, and I got to see what I was made of. So I'll tell y'all about that. That's a very interesting story. So, like my blog says, I went through an abusive situation during my teen childhood years that led to me living with an ex-boyfriend and his family, who were also extremely abusive. And that ended up turning into like a very toxic love triangle. And I just wanted to leave it behind because deep down I knew that neither one of these guys really wanted to take me seriously, and I knew they pretty much hated me deep down just by their actions. So I left. No, I left. Before I left, one of the guys who was involved in this triangle, he just ghosted me. Um, the other guy, my ex, he suspected that, I had stuff going on and stuff. So I guess in retaliation, he took new photos of me without me knowing. And the new photos were basically very unflattering. And those photos are going to come up in the later part of my story. But yeah, basically, I got my stimulus check, my first stimulus check in 2020 in April, and I booked a flight to Las Vegas. And at that time, me and my ex were still like on the ins and outs, kind of still dealing with each other, kind of not. He begged me to stay, like to stay in the same situation. And I knew that nothing was going to change with him because in 10 years of being with him, nothing changed. And the only thing he did was go out of his way to pull me back after he completely fucked everything up. That was the only thing that he was good at, was trying to get right after he messed everything up. But I wasn't about to fall for it. I'm like, no, like it's too much time. Like you're not about to keep on asking me to waste years out of my life. You're making no type of progress when it comes to me. It's all about you. So no. And he was crying very hard, and it's crazy because it's like when I looked at him crying when he dropped me off to the airport, something told me like this isn't over. Like he's gonna retaliate, and he did. He retaliated in the worst way. So I got to Vegas, and the reason I went to Vegas is because my one of my younger sisters, she's 2 years younger than me. I wasn't raised with her, and I didn't really take the time to get to know her growing up. And we were basically going through the same situations with guys. We had just graduated college, and we were living with these guys who just, didn't care about us. So she told me, like, I mean, if you come out here, we can be, like a team, like we can like help each other out, and we can basically, help take care of each other. And I believed her. And I was like, okay, well, maybe she's about what she says she is going to be about, and maybe she's not. But I'm going to find out because I got to make a move. So I saved up money. I got a flight out there. I looked at job listings. I was working at Chili's in Colombia, um, basically before the pandemic. And when Corona closed down the restaurants, I was working at Walmart. So I asked my manager from Chili's to give me a good, basically, recommendation to work at the Chili's in Las Vegas. So like the day after I got there, like I literally had an interview the next day. Like as soon as I got there, I called for the interview because I saw the job listing on Indeed. So I went. Basically, I came to Las Vegas. My sister picked me up, and I stayed with her at some of her relatives' house. And basically, the relatives, were taking me around, showing me how to do things because my sister was going through something emotionally, and she just really wasn't in the mood to, take me to the places where I needed to go. So luckily, her relatives helped me out, and I got to where I needed to go. I got the job. A week after I got there, I got a place. Got a apartment at an extended stay hotel, and it was a full apartment, one bedroom, one bath, and I wasn't expecting that. I just went there, and I thought it was gonna be a studio, but it was a whole apartment, so I was pretty excited. And the apartment was right down the road from the Chili's I was supposed to be working at because I was working at a Chili's on the strip, on the south end of the strip, right in front of the South Premium Outlets. So yeah, I started working there, and like basically I was just chilling with my sister, and we were just, like meeting people, different stuff like that. And I started working. I started meeting people at work. I started hanging out with people at work. I didn't have a car, so like I said, I was walking or taking the bus. But the good thing about Vegas is it's a city that never ends. It's like sidewalk everywhere, and there are bus stops everywhere. There's a bus stop right in front of my apartment. So I was just hopping on the bus any and all times of night because the bus don't stop in Vegas. I was just hopping on the bus any and all times of night, going here, there, everywhere, going to the different transit stations to catch different buses. And I was all up and through Vegas, like on the buses at night, during the day. It was, I was just exploring, like it was really lit, you know? So, anyways, at this point, like my sister, she lived on the farm side of town and stuff like that. And I was having a very eventful summer. I started working out. I started eating right because there was a grocery store right next to me, so I could walk to the grocery store anytime. There's two bars right next to me, two 24/7 bars. So I would get off of work at like 11, 12 at night, take a little nap, and come home, go to the bar, get a drink and stuff like that. And that used to be me. That was my life, exploring, going to these bars after getting off of work and stuff. I was having fun. Um, Basically, everything started going down during the fall. During the fall, basically, I was talking to one of my coworkers, male coworkers, and another female coworker decided to try to befriend me and then try to like snatch dude from up under me. Like just a younger female too. And the thing is, it's just it be these material girls, right? Because I mean, this girl, she was mixed, curly hair, green eyes, thick, like a real head turner type shit. But it always
Oh,
be
really?
them
Oh.
females that like to go out their way to mess with me. I don't know. Like I really don't like the material girls because I feel like you're doing all that honestly for a man. And number two, because you don't feel confident in yourself. That's how I feel. And this, it was definitely the situation with this girl. And the thing is, basically, her and dude had something going on behind my back, but I wasn't having sex with dude. So it's just like, okay, if you want to sit here and try to snatch somebody that isn't really on my level, like go ahead and snatch him, like, because I don't really want like a liar around me anyway. So yeah, they just was basically starting issues. The girl found my Facebook page, wrote me talking about what's up, and then when I confronted her in the restaurant, she was just sitting there acting like like nothing happened. So I confronted her, then I confronted dude. It was a big blowout, and I was just like, it's whatever, yo. So basically, the restaurant was on some BS. They were showing favoritism with hours, and they ended up like cutting my hours drastically um, during the fall. So I was basically struggling to pay my bills. And it was depressing me. And on top of that, that situation with these bum ass coworkers. That's another thing. Like whenever I have worked in restaurants, there has been this pattern of all the black people in the restaurant trying to start drama with me. And I know it's because it's like I come in and I make money and stuff like that. And a lot of black people are just about that drama. And when they see you're not about that drama, they try to draw you into it. And this is every restaurant I went to. It's the black people who are always trying to stir the pot and bring me into some shit. So yeah, needless to say, it's just like, okay, first I'm getting money. I'm not in here to get fucked. I'm not in here, to find a man. I'm here to get money. So all that stuff is always, just like a dub for me. Like once you be on that bullshit, it's fuck you. And anybody who has crossed me while working with me can tell you that. Like it's you're done to me. So after this situation, my childhood friend was murdered. And it's crazy because when I left South Carolina, I saw him at the barbershop because we had the same barber. So, anyways, he was murdered. And basically, during this whole time, my ex was sending me money. He was, calling me. We were still communicating and stuff, but he was, still kind of acting like he was holding on. So I was kind of letting him know, like, okay, you just need to do your own thing, type stuff. And little did I know, the ex boyfriend had been talking to his ex, an ex that was present during our whole entire relationship ever since I left. I had to hack his Instagram to find this out because he was sitting there lying, thinking I wasn't going to find out. But that's exactly what happened during this whole time when I moved. As soon as I got on that plane, he had texted his ex. He was sitting there playing both sides of the field, or playing both sides. And I don't want to say both sides of the field because that sounds like he gave, but probably. I mean, he's a liar, so I wouldn't doubt it. Um, but yeah. So also the other guy who ghosted me got on his first baby mama's little brother's page to tell me to unblock him because, like I said, he ghosted me. Come to find out, I found this out a year later. He ghosted me because he was already in a relationship with someone. And then when he got that girl pregnant in August, in fall, like I said, everything started going down in fall. He hit me back up. And he was talking to me the whole time she was pregnant, and he ghosted me again when his baby was born in Aries. I'm sorry, was born in April. The his baby boy is in Aries. And thought I wasn't going to find out once again. See, a lot of guys, like when you're a psychic, they just come to you and they just go out their way to deceive you just to see if they can do it type stuff. But this guy, honestly, it should have never ever been anything between me and him. He was a troublemaker ever since he was a kid. He was a nobody and a dusty bum ever since he was young. And it's just like I had no business messing with him. But anyways, yeah, both of them came back around. My ex, he started acting shady and like kind of just like not being consistent and stuff. And I knew he was with someone else. And then it's like when I started asking him, he was just dropping hints like, "Oh yeah, I'm into Virgos and this, that, and the third." And the whole time, like he'd been with the girl. My little sister had to go on his page and find out that he was with the girl. He was lying the whole time. Disgusting, disgusting energies surrounding me and attaching themselves to me, even when I'm all the way across the country. So yeah, like I said, all that happened. You know, the bum stuff with the bum ass employees, the bum ass workplace cutting my hours, um, the exes just on that BS, me feeling it, you know, but not really knowing what's going on because I'm all the way over there. You know, so it was a hard fall for me. Like it was a lot to deal with, you know, like the lack of money, just the drama. And then it's like when my ex finally came out and said that he was with the girl because my sister told me about it, I was like, bro, fuck you, you know, like get the fuck on. Like, why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? One time he let her answer the phone. I'm like, oh, so you on your fabulous? Oh, well, I'm gonna let her answer the phone stuff, thinking you're someone. And it's like, y'all should see how this man looks. Like, ugh. Anyways, let her answer the phone. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So, anyways, he's still calling me after this. So I had like pretty much stopped answering his calls for a period of time. And yeah, I just realized I had to get my stuff together. But you know, it was hard. So I got into a drinking habit. You know, I got into, you know, smoking a lot. Just like really sightseeing. Just a lot to numb my pain. And then December came around, and October came around, and basically, another thing I left out is when I came to Las Vegas, I relaunched my blog, and so that's the blog that I was talking about that I'm going to drop in the link below. So that was basically like my inner child healing series. It was called the 17 Days of Summer. And in the 17 Days of Summer, basically, I sat down with myself and went through my whole childhood and pretty much wrote it down and just posted each part of my childhood. And that was very, very hard to do. And now that I've done that, I understand why people don't do inner child healing because number one is very, very exhausting. Number two is very, very painful. And number three, like it's very uncomfortable. You know, like just because when you like replay memories, like those emotions, those traumatic emotions that you experience when you went through that experience, they resurface. It's like you are going through it all over again. But it has to be done because it's like once you look at your pain and realize like the patterns that led you into it and the patterns that you had afterwards, like you realize it's very healing and you realize that you actually have a duty to look back at your pain so that you don't go through it again. So after that, I got done with that. I was like, okay, now I got to get done with my book because I've been writing the book that I published last December for 6 years. I was like, I got to finish this book. So yeah, come October, you know, the change of the seasons, you know, to, you know, like winter and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. But all the while just having magical experiences, you know, like just, you know, making money, meeting people, looking good. And yeah, basically, when it came to me and my sister, like it was like kind of like rocky because it's like she was going through her own stuff too. And it was like, you know, when people are going through stuff, a lot of times they don't know how to act and they don't know how to treat you. Oh, this is my song. I love this song. They don't know how to treat you. So I was just like going through some of that stuff with her. And she ended up getting a job at this pizza place. And she got me a job there too because of my um, struggles with money. So I had two jobs at that point, and I was taking the bus to this job in North Las Vegas. So I had to take two buses for an hour and a half. But me and my sister ended up falling out at the beginning of the new year because of a situation where I felt like she didn't have my back on New Year's Day when it came to like this stranger who basically, wasn't a very good person. And I actually had relations with the stranger because, I'm in Vegas, I just need the love of a guy. I just need someone to make my body feel good. But oof, he did not make my body feel good at all, y'all. He was the worst sex of my life. I ain't lying. Anyways, so after that, I wasn't really messing with dude after, like I messed with him. And basically we were, celebrating New Year's and he was being disrespectful and I called him out on it. And I felt like my sister didn't back me up. So I just stopped talking to her type stuff because it's like I don't, deserve to be put in a situation, where you're not gonna have my back, especially if you told me you're gonna have my back and you just don't end up having my back. So, I explained that to her like 3 months later. So I started off that year basically, just by myself, just like doing my own thing. Um, but the trouble at the restaurant kept on brewing. Basically, this little girl who went out her way to take, a guy from me who she could have been talked to before I came in there, she asked one of her friends to put her hands on me. That's another thing. It'd be these so-called confident females that be doing these little vicious things, trying to get hands put on people who are peaceful and who don't do nothing to them just because they think they ratchet. You think you're a mean girl and all sorts of stuff. Anyways, that whole shit that she was doing caught up to her because her homegirl ended up stopped liking her. And the homegirl went and told me that she had asked me that the girl who don't like me had asked her to fight her when they were still friends. Well, to fight me when they were still friends. And I was like, I already knew that because you was acting, like very hateful for no reason. But me and the girl established rapport, because I'm not a bad person, like even if you want to sit here and come at me, like we're coworkers, like we working together and we will work in a peaceful environment. So she respected that about me, and she ended up telling me. But basically, I confronted the girl in the bathroom. She acted like the victim. She was all in the bathroom. It was all, you can come see me after work. And I'm like, girl, I'm asking you now. I'm asking to your face. Did you say this? And she didn't say nothing. She left the bathroom and went and told the managers that I was like threatening her. And so basically, she was trying to paint me as the evil black woman. And then there was, another big part to the story. There was this whole ass dude, married dude in the restaurant who was also starting drama between me and the girl because I guess he saw that me and her was going, back and forth over dude. And he basically, I guess he felt like she was more attractive than me. But the thing about hoe ass dudes is they go around, they get attention from all women, and then they try to pit women against each other because they don't have shit else to do with their lives and their bums, and their mothers didn't teach them that you don't go around pitting people against each other. But that's what this hoe ass dude did. And it's like I wasn't even on his dick. Like everybody at the restaurant was on his dick. This man is fully married to a beautiful black woman. He all over this white girl. She all over him. It's just like sexually charged. You can't get no damn work done because these people in here just trying to fuck when they're supposed to be working, basically. So yeah, I guess he was just mad because he wasn't getting attention from me, and he was supposed to be my partner one night. He was all up in old girl face. I'm like, bro, can I get some help? And he's like, oh well, no, nah, fuck that. I'm like, oh okay, so you trying to flex? That's fine, fuck nigga. Like you will never have to worry about me doing everything again. And then he spent the rest of the night trying to kiss my ass, like trying to like apologize. I'm like, bro, like, yeah, it's whatever. I see what type of dude you is now. That dude ended up dropping me off to my house a few nights, trying to get fucked. Yeah, he came up to my house, like was all over me, feeling over my booty. Had a whole wife and everything. He was trying to get down with the Tosh. I was like, sir, you're a hoe. For real, this is just entertaining. I just wanted to see how far it would go, but I ain't fucking no married man. That's disgusting, especially no married man whose dick is for everybody. That's just nasty. Um, so yeah, like I said, he started that drama. So I sat his ass down, like, bro, like you be starting drama and shit, like, and I don't like that shit. So we just need to keep a distance. You feel me? Like you be walking up on all these other girls, hugging them, being all sexually, like inappropriate. And you was trying to do that shit with me. Don't do that shit with me. And I told him, like, for real, don't touch on me. Like, don't do none of that shit. You can say hello to me because I don't like how you moving. Yeah. So, anyways, nigga got mad, because he got some boundaries put on him, and that's what fuck boys do. Oh, you're not gonna let me be a fuck boy? Oh, well, fuck you. I don't give a fuck, nigga. You feel me? Like I don't give a fuck. And they giving me 1 day a week in this bitch too. Yeah. So, needless to say, I quit that job because I got a job at a customer service center. Okay. So at this point, I had found out that my ex had proposed to the ex before me. Me and the ex before me had got into it because I basically I had wrote on my blog when my friend died about the story of him and me, and my ex was butthurt because we had relations during the time when me and my ex was together, but my ex was treating me like shit, and come to find out he was also giving attention to other females. So he was just sitting there basically being a bitch. This motherfucker goes on the ex girl, the ex before me, who is now the wife or baby mama, whatever the fuck she is, goes on my blog and reads my blog to him. And this nigga is calling me, talking shit about a dead guy, about a dead friend of mine. He's sitting here sneering and shit. And the thing is, like, his bitch was a bully in high school. So that's when I was like, oh yeah, both of these bitches have the mentality of high school females, my ex and his new bitch. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I mean, we can sit here and we can go. Like, I mean, it is what it is. So I checked her on it, and she sent me that nude photo that I was telling you about. He sent her that. He had it in his phone, and he basically, yeah, gave her that to use against me type shit. Lying about it to this day, won't admit the fact that that's what the fuck he did. He did. So she sends that to me, and I'm like, okay, bitch. Like, first of all, it's never ever gonna be that type of time where you can sit here and show me a picture of me and tell me you're going to post it, bitch. Like, fuck. First of all, look at how you look. So that's what I went on. So basically, I, let Facebook know. I was like, yeah, oh yeah, this bitch is trying to sit here blackmail me with the photo. And so I took photos in a bikini and I showed exactly how I looked because, ironically, I looked a lot better in Vegas than I looked in that photo. You know why? Because I got away from the ratchet motherfuckers. That's why. But of course, they had to creep their way back in because ratchet motherfuckers have nothing to do except be ratchet. So yeah, we going back and forth over the post because, like I said, I called the bitch out on it. That's the thing about narcissists. People be thinking they can get away with shit in private. Why are you mad when it comes to the public? Why are you mad? That's what I'm saying. These narcissists, they hold tune change when you put stuff to the public. And that's exactly why I'm all about exposing that ass. I really am. So yeah, that blowout happened. The other dude was still writing me, but I was like, I was even telling him, I was like, you probably out here doing this same thing he doing. This nigga talk about some no, and I can't let you go, and you my dog, all this. This nigga was just sitting here waiting for his baby to be born. That nigga ghosted me as soon as his child was born in April, after 9 months of constantly bothering me. So basically, when I started working at this new job, this call center, I wasn't really good at it. It was solar panel sales. My sister got me that job, and I would sit on the phone and I would have to, like, answer calls and get people's information to sign them up for appointments for solar panel sales. And I wasn't good at it at first, so I started, just like cheering on the team that I was on. And I just started being very supportive. I went to Dollar Tree and just like bought a whole bunch of little stuff for us to basically win as far as prize, like snacks and glasses, this, that, and the third. And they loved it. So basically, I got to be very well known in the call center just because I had like little great ideas and stuff. So I got put on the fun committee, which was basically a committee where we basically, planned the monthly meeting and had like little games and, just stuff to uplift the call center. So I was kind of like a celebrity in the call center. But basically, my sister was still going through stuff and she ended up quitting. And it's just like, I was feeling like she didn't have my back again. It's just like, okay, every time you go through stuff, it feels like it's kind of like, fuck me, Like, I mean, so I told her, I was like, listen, I can't fuck with you. Like, I mean, because at the end of the day, gone out of my way for you. Like, I've moved across the country for you. And it's like, you're always acting stupid. So it's just like, I kind of don't want to associate with you no more. So it was what it was with her. And we kind of like separate. And I was still working at this job. And at this job, like, I mean, it was good at first. Like, I mean, I got better at what I did. I started being like a top seller in some certain situations. Like I said, I was well known. Like, it was just like a family environment. Like, everybody, wanted to come to work, just because it's like I brought that family environment to it. But we also got a raise. We went from 11 to $14 an hour plus commission. So I mean, stuff was good. But unfortunately, there was some meddlesome energies basically involved. The one of the business owners, because it was a duo. It was a business partnership between two men, and one of the guys, he ended up leaving. And basically, yeah, that was spring of 2021. Everybody quit their jobs. It was the same thing in the call center. A whole bunch of people just started leaving, started quitting. And yeah, I was still just going out, meeting people. Like I would at this point I had got an electric bike. I purchased an electric bike, y'all. It was $750. That jump went 22 miles per hour. It was the best purchase I've ever made in life. I used to be on the street, like on the strip, riding my electric bike, riding alongside the cars. Like people used to, especially the black people used to be like, "Hey," used to be like, "That's smart," because my jump was nice, y'all. Like you ain't never seen a black girl ride no damn electric bike, okay? Like I was riding that shit, and I was all up and down Vegas. I went to North Vegas one time to see my cousin Puda. She lives in Vegas. To basically attend her baby party. And I rode all the way back, and it's like we have a few different roads that are parallel to the strip, and I got to ride back in the evening on one of the roads that parallel the strip, and it was the best experience ever. Like I've let me tell you something, electric bikes are the way to go. You have not lived life until you've owned and ridden an electric bike in your city. So yeah, that was happening, and basically I started doing psychic readings in January because I wanted to start a spiritual business, and I started reading playing cards because I didn't want to learn how to do tarot cards because the imagery kind of scares me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do tarot with playing cards, and then basically I was super accurate. And I was never off and stuff, and I started doing it for my coworkers and my friends. During this time, basically right before I left Vegas, I had so many kickbacks. Like, and I was like, as far as my coworkers, like, it was to the point where I was going to my coworkers' houses and cooking. Right before I left, I invited them to my place, for a party, which lasted 5 hours. It was the most lit party I've ever been to in life. It was just everything. And yeah, so that I was doing readings and stuff, and basically with my readings were telling me that the guys were who I was in a love triangle with had went and started families with other women, but I wasn't learned enough to know what it was saying. But I could feel that something was going on. So I decided that I needed to go back to South Carolina. But every time I did a reading for what would happen if I went back to South Carolina, I got a whole bunch of spades, which means just like it was going to be bad situations. And lo and behold, that's exactly what it was. Because, like I said, 9 months, like 9 months of this guy talking to me, unbeknownst, while his baby mama is pregnant, and then he just ghosted me. And then basically my ex came back in April. He was texting me, and I guess he caught on to the fact that I was, more peaceful and more just at ease. And he was talking to me also while his baby mama was pregnant, and what his fiance was pregnant. So both of these guys were doing the same thing, just trying to be slick. But I just knew, like just me being intuitive, I just knew that there was more to the story. So I decided to come back to South Carolina after I quit that job at the call center because, like I said, it went down. It ended up being some meddlesome people who were messing with my money. So I ended up coming back to South Carolina. But basically, on the day that I left Vegas, I reconnected with my sister. And, we spent the day together, and then I went back south. And basically, my ex picked me up from the airport and informed me immediately that he had gotten this girl pregnant. Well, not informed me immediately, but my sister, on the day that I left Vegas, she went on his page and she found out that he had proposed to this girl and gotten her pregnant, and she told me. And so before I even left Vegas, basically I had already bought the ticket by then, and I had asked him to pick me up. He said yeah. And at this point, I was like, listen, once you pick me up, you can just drop me off because, you're being sneaky and I don't appreciate it. He was just sitting there acting like there was nothing wrong with it, just being very, very smug and disgusting. But yeah, so I questioned him when I touched down. And of course, I broke all the way down because it's just like this girl was present the whole relationship. She was the girl before me, you know? And he lied. He came back into my life in order to disturb my peace with that. He's very calculated. He knew what he was doing. He sought to destroy the peace that I built for myself in Las Vegas. And basically that was the whole pattern, the everybody's behavior when I got back. It was toxic friends, toxic family coming back into my life just to disturb my peace because they realized I had been happy without them. So He came back into my life on that BS. I made the mistake of unblocking the other third party. And immediately when I unblocked him, he hit me up. So that's how I knew he was stalking me still. So yeah, we ended up linking, and basically he was selling me dreams and still acting shady. Like he'll be like, oh, hit me up later, and I call him, he can't answer the phone, and he won't even reply till later on. So I'm like, bro, like who do you have? Like, what's the problem? Whole time he didn't had a kid, and during this time when I came back, the baby was 4 months and he was still with the baby mama, thinking somebody dumb and don't know and not gonna find out. So I decided I didn't need to fuck with him too much. I was like, yeah, he's acting shady and stuff like that. With I'm When I came back to South Carolina, I moved into this extended stay hotel. It was infested with spiders. I had no car. I was trying to come back to a job that I had, but once again, I had no car. And then another job that I had, it just kind of had changed a lot because of Corona. So I was doing psychic readings at the mall in order to support myself, and that was, kind of lucrative. I was making enough to at least, pay for the room by the day. The room was like, like $50 a day. So I was making that, but it was just like only that and barely enough to eat. So my ex, who had the fiance pregnant, he was still coming around, basically buying me stuff to eat and stuff. But it's just he was basically telling me that he and the girl weren't together and they had never ever even broken up. He was just lying to me, trying to basically just trying to fuck me over, just going out his way to start drama. Like I said, has the high school mentality, has the mentality of a high school female. So I'm knowing this and stuff, and I'm like, like my intuition is just creeping me. It's not letting me sleep at night. And ever since he told me this stuff, I'm stuck in this cycle of I knew you and this girl were never even over. I knew y'all weren't over. Now she's pregnant and y'all about to get married. Like, this is a fucking loop. I just want you to leave me alone. And he refused to leave me alone. Refused. So he basically got to suggesting that, if I had sex with him, that like he would pay for my room and stuff like that. And it just like I was just like so depressed at that point, just with not having a car and going from Vegas back to bum ass South Carolina and stuff. I just like I kind of gave in. I was like, I need help. It is what it is. But I knew like I could look on the girl's page and see that he was liking her stuff, and I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking dumb. It says you're still in a relationship on your page and y'all are interacting. Like, stop it. So I got tired of that, and I made the mistake of reconnecting with my family because somehow or another, my sister, who has been physically abusive to me my entire life because she hates me, she's jealous, she feels like I look better than her, so she goes out her way to play mind games and to fuck me over and to knock me down. It has been doing this since we were young, and I didn't know that siblings like that exist, that narcissistic siblings exist. So I used to feel like I was wrong for having a bad relationship with my sister. And I used to let people fool me into saying that you need to be sisters, this, that, and the third. But no, you can't be sisters with someone who's jealous of you, because a jealous person will try to do you harm, will kill you type stuff. And it's like my sister has been in those situations where she's done extensive physical harm to me just out of jealousy. So, anyways, that's one of the reasons I left South Carolina, is because she had physically assaulted me while I was injured. So that's when I know it's like, yeah, this bitch is done. Like, she's fucked up in the head. Be sitting here reading some damn Bible, acting like she's a Christian when she's around here beating on me. So somehow or another, I don't know if this was real, but she called. Well, she had one of my cousins call me, and then when we got into contact, she said that someone had called my mother, who I'm also not on good terms with because she's a complete evil being. Ugh, gotta pause this.